So, I want to welcome everyone to our final. We're done this week. And, it's been a tough time to keep things going for you guys and for myself, but here we are. I do hope that you've learned a lot and enjoyed the information that you received. Obviously, if you just take this class, this will not be sufficient for you to really understand the subject matter, but this should be a great base for you. And you'll notice that we had a lot of work to do. My exam is only 25 points. I'm not a math professor. I don't do the math. So I don't ever say or encourage people to do or not do a certain assignment. But if you choose not to do this, many of you can still get an A if you've been keeping up the work. If that's what you want to do, just write to me and say, Mr. Pollack, I'm not going to take this exam, and then I will give you the 0, and that's where we'll be at. I will double check through your grades and make sure that I've at least got a 0 in everything or a grade. Double check on everything, and before I do the final grades, I'll let you know. I'm going to try to finalize your grades on Friday, okay? So I would like you to kind of be around or be aware that, to keep looking, because probably, I don't know, I'm not sure what time Friday, but I'm gonna have your grades all put in Pirate's Net by then, okay? Again, be in contact if you need to. Tomorrow, Monday I'll work a full 10-hour shift at my other job, and then Tuesday I'll be off, and then you can contact me better then as well. And what else am I going to say? Okay, so here we are ending on two kind of major set of events. We have the tension again with North Korea and Trump, and then we have what we have with what we just saw and are watching on the news in Virginia, and the issue over what Confederate symbols mean, what rights people have or not, and ultimately acts of terrorism, of Americans killing Americans by driving cars into them. And things have been very tense, just clear around the board. I mean, let's just be real. What we watched happening in Europe is kind of coalescing with what's happening here. Racial tensions are very bad. Economic challenges are very bad. And people are drawing lines in the sand. I live up in Portland, Oregon, if you don't know that already. I've lived in Modesto, California. I taught in California. There was a white supremacist who stabbed and killed several people on the train that I always take out here, and really shook up the community. And some people, there are some other sides that feel that whites are now being attacked, or they feel threatened, or they're uneasy. Instead of actually speaking to all of that and covering that, I just want to remind us that we really do have these social tensions that are real, and you can't escape them. For many Latinos, what they're feeling, especially since this presidency, is maybe something that those of us who are white haven't felt. But even if we even talk about the idea of white privilege, many people are not privileged anymore. There's a shrinking middle class. Things are very tense, and people are being very irrational. And I think this is a good time to really realize that knowing your history and like being a critical thinker and looking at the people next to you and seeing them as your potential parents as well, people with children, people who laugh and enjoy life. They're all we're all next to each other, but not everybody's willing to get along. And it's going to take people actually really listening and trying to delve deeper into maybe the way that we perceive things on our own. I mean, for myself, like behind me is a Scottish flag and an American flag. What's a flag? What's a symbol? What is it supposed to mean? What do we owe our humanity to our nation, to the world, to the environment? To me, what's happened is over the years I went through many, many different ideas about what I think about the world and what to make of it all. For me, I'm an American because I was born here. It's not a choice. It wasn't a choice. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. It wasn't a choice. I was born white. It's not a choice. Now, some people, are born a color in a society that gives them advantages or disadvantages. Some people are born in countries that are going in the middle of civil wars, and some places, even within a given country, are going to do better, regardless of their race or ethnicity, than if they go to another part of the States. We're a large country, and we live in a large world. Is it some people say it's a small world. Yeah, it's a small world, and it's also a large world. It's both in different ways. There's a Viking expression for someone who's stupid. It's heimsker. Heimsker means from home. I believe that Icelanders still use this term. I need to double check that, but to me I like it because it's more of an explanation other than a put down. To say you're from home, you can be a hyper intelligent person, but if you have limited your views of the world, if you become narrow-minded, as we say, and you are not expanding and looking at the outside world, outside of your own view, you have a limited perspective on reality. You are heimsker. Okay? And I think that we need to actually challenge ourselves on this. The legacies of each country has to deal with their own inequality legacies and problems. In Africa, there's violence over the elections taking place. Well, why is that happening, and what's the problem with the elections going on in Africa? That has its own history and problems. Some from outside sources, some things from within. What about our country? We have a legacy of white supremacy. It's just a fact. That's what it is. We couldn't live on land that other people lived without justifying the fact that we thought that we were better than those people. That's how you can justify that, right? That's just by default. So taking away, Native American land was because we thought that we had the right to do that. In some cases, it wasn't just white supremacy; it was even religious supremacy. But it was some way to think that you were better than somebody else and had the right because you could. And then we have, of course, the legacy of slavery. Now, I think, as there's some Americans that think that we're the best in the world and others say we're the worst. I would rather just stay away from both ideas and let's just talk about becoming better at all times and look at our, what legacies that we have that we need to work on and improve, and how can we actually build our community. Why is it that we have a state that where an official poisoned water and nobody's got arrested for it? Why do we have so much corruption here that we haven't dealt with? We talk about what's going on in Venezuela or Saudi Arabia, but here we are in America, and we're killing each other literally, and letting other people get away with things, and we have a lack of trust about even the situation with our police. Now, what I'm saying on this is this: it doesn't matter if the police are unfairly criticized or not. What I'm saying is that there is a lack of trust in large sections of one community for law and order. In other words, we have a credibility problem that's taking place, and we have a lot of people not understanding each other. So, we have a lot to work on. Western civilization comes with many good things, many bad things. So what I always say is, focus on what's good and make that happen. But don't ignore the bad. we got a lot of work to do. That's it. So that's my little thoughts on this. It's great having you guys, and I wish every one of my students well in your life and whatever perspectives that you have, and ultimately hope to see you again under great circumstances.